So far, we have covered technology ethics broadly outside of libraries, and also how libraries are working with some vendors and collecting and using some data that may cause issues around user data rights and privacy. This section will cover how libraries may already be using some automated technologies, like artificial intelligence, in ways that impact users. Most libraries are part of bigger systems of governance and rely on policies set by their academic institutions, their medical centers, and local, state, and federal governments. Job hiring is one area where practices have been changing for a while. Technologies have been created to review job applications, including resumes and cover letters, in order to screen for qualified candidates. Some academic institutions are already incorporating artificial intelligence systems to do basic pre-screening of candidates, withholding any that don't seem to meet its criteria. The screenshot here is from a talk entitled Building Data Equity Systems by Dr. Julia Stojanovic, an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at the New York University Tandon School of Engineering and in the Center for Data Science. In this talk, Dr. Stojanovic relays that some people think AI is naturally neutral or objective or fair, but that it actually takes on the biases of its creators, culture, source data, and environment. Studies have shown that women were less likely to be shown ads for high-paying jobs on Google, and AI tools have been shown to be biased against people experiencing mental illness as identified by a personality test. Additionally, companies like Amazon have stopped using AI recruiting tools that showed bias against women. Each new technology has pros and cons and supporters and detractors. Many people supported the growth of the internet by saying it will be a democratizing force without acknowledging the costs of personal computing devices and internet connections for people struggling to afford basic necessities. In reference to AI, Jenny R. Yang, who has served in various federal government roles, including being the chair of the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, has said, quote, "Automated hiring systems act as modern gatekeepers to economic opportunity," end quote. On the topic of machine learning in healthcare, many researchers warn of the ethical considerations. In 2020, McLennan and co-authors wrote, quote, "Data routinely collected in the process of care are heavily influenced by long-standing social, cultural, and institutional biases. Unless the underlying inequities in our communities are addressed, algorithms will perpetuate, if not magnify, existing health disparities," end quote. In 2019, Obermeyer wrote that a commercial prediction algorithm affecting millions of U.S. patients showed racial bias, dramatically underestimating the health needs of Black patients. That algorithm used healthcare costs to determine the need for more comprehensive care, but was designed to exclude race, even though Black patients incur less in medical costs and are less likely to be identified as a high risk for complex care. To highlight one aspect of misinformation around healthcare and race, I wanted to show this tweet from Dr. Keisha Ray from March 2021. Dr. Ray is the director of the Medical Humanities Scholarly Concentration at UT Health Houston, and wrote, quote, "For the people in the back, Black people want to get vaccinated against COVID. They just have many barriers to access. Most are not vaccine hesitant. Stop with the Black people aren't getting vax, and more with the why can't they get access." End quote. In 2020, Wolchik wrote about what they called augmented intelligence and what was happening in other fields, and how those things might be used in libraries. Augmented intelligence lies at the border between AI and human intelligence, meaning that it can enhance people's abilities to work, but still relies on people's judgments and not on technology alone. As in, people are still part of this process, interacting and using the technology as they see fit. This article provides some speculation on how augmented AI can be used in libraries to streamline work in cataloging, acquisitions, content management, and other areas. The author has a caveat, though, that people can have a very positive new technology bias, thinking that it will solve every problem and be much better than previous technologies. And the data gathered and used by these systems may also include personal data. Generative AI is one sort of augmented intelligence that is starting to enhance people's work and raise discussions of ethics. ChatGPT is probably the most famous generative AI around now, a large language model that can write natural English language responses to user queries. But like Google and other companies, OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, acknowledges that they may be using any data that is provided by users to enhance their product. This means that there is yet another potential for user data rights and privacies to be compromised by a tool that seems like it could be efficient with helping out with issues in medical, educational, and library settings. You may have seen that many softwares and programs are enhancing their features with AI tools, from search engines such as Google and Bing automatically sending queries to their AI, to Zoom and other telecommunications platforms offering to summarize meetings, to tools like Cite AI offering to help researchers find useful citations. These tools were built by analyzing large amounts of data, and many of them continue to collect data from users. At this point, I'd like to ask, have you seen other developing or emerging technologies that could create ethical issues if they're used in libraries? Give it a moment to consider. I wanted to close with this question. Who is giving up what for technology? Free social media platforms harvest user data for studies and typically provide or sell access to their user data to other products and companies. Social media companies profit off of the content their users develop and share. Free mapping technologies incorporate user data to improve their product. Libraries and vendors often collect and use user data without explicit permission or adequate recourse for users withdrawing their data from use. Many tech companies are compelled to comply with government requests for user data, especially from law enforcement, and libraries have historically had to push back against government requests for user data. So we should consider all of these topics as we incorporate technologies in libraries.